the next step in this assignment is to create a preliminary printout of the project. We have done all of our primary, secondary, and tertiary structural systems, including the steel frame and the floors, and then the basement and foundation. So let's create a sheet and do a kind of a preliminary printout of this. So the first step is to create a sheet. And to do that, we're going to go down here, and you'll see right here sheets. Okay, and we don't have any sheets loaded at this point, so I'm going to create a new sheet, and it's going to take me to, well, we actually have a default sheet here, and actually that'll work fine. We're going to put that default sheet in because we're going to design our own sheet, of which we don't already have a template. So I'm going to say OK to that, and you can see this sheet. It's a construction document sheet with a title block and all that, and that's not anything like what we want, but this will enable me to have something to start with. So I'm going to right click on it and say edit the family. Sheets are a .rfa file. They are a family file, and so I'm going to start with an existing template and then make my own. So I'm going to hit edit family, and when I click on edit family, this is going to open up. And the first thing I'm going to do is save this as a new file. So I'm going to go in, save as, okay, a family file, and you'll see it defaulted to the title blocks. If you look here under our family locations is a folder called title blocks, and here's all the title blocks, and you can see I've built this a couple of times, so we're going to build it again though, and since we're limited to 33 inches in width, we're just going to call this a 33 by 60 and vertical format, and we'll call this version 3 since I already have a version 1 and version 2. So we're going to save that. Now that we've got that done, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep a little bit of this. I'm going to keep this because this is a label that is connected to the print date, and so whenever it's printed out, the date will be printed here, and that's really good to keep up with your sheets and whether the printout you have is the most current or not. There are a lot of other things like project name, client name that are tied to parameters within the file. I'm not going to really get into that at this point. We can go back and add those parameters to the file. I'm just going to create a basics. So I'm going to just delete actually everything here. Okay. And let me check this right here. So I'm going to throw in a dimension real quick from here to here so that I can see. So that's 3 foot 6 inches. Okay. Oh, let's just start from scratch. What the hell? I'm just going to delete this, and we're just going to draw our first line. So I'm going to go into the create command, and we're going to draw a line. And I'm going to draw, since it will be plotted out most likely on a 36-inch bed, I'm going to put a 36-inch line in here to start with. Okay, and then I'm going to go down here 60 inches. So I'm going to type in 60 inches. Whoops, I got it at the wrong angle. Wasn't watching what I was doing. So let's just delete that out. Hit the delete key to do that. Create line again, and we're going to go here, and this time I'll watch what I'm doing. 60 inches. We're going to go over, and it's going to snap, and then we're going to go up. Okay, so that's our basic sheet, but we're going to print to 33 inches in width, so our print area is going to be only 33 inches wide, and 33 inches of course from 36 inches is 3 inches, and so we need a couple of lines here to represent our cut line. So I'm going to zoom in. The closer you zoom in, the the smaller the snaps get. So I'm going to go 1.5 inches here, snap, snap, and let's go from over here 1.5 inches. And so there's our 33 inches right there. And you can see 2 foot 9 inches, which is 33 inches. So now we have a basic sheet size. And I'm going to, since it will always have a title on it, I'm going to go ahead and put a title and some dates before I end this. And so let's go put the title in. Create, and we're going to put a label in. And you'll see over here in our properties, labels have to be, sizes and fonts and all that have to be pre-established. And if we look here, you'll see there's been a series of labels created here, starting at 1/2 inch and going up to, or going down to 5/8 of an inch. The other way, a label can have a parameter to it. So actually what I want to put in is text, not a label. And if we look at text, we'll see we start with 1 inch here to 1/2 inch, and there's a whole bunch of different text. Okay, so text, labels, they're different. But I'm going to edit the type, because what I want is for this text to actually be 1.5 inches tall. So I'm going to go in here, and you'll see there isn't a 1.5 inch. So I'm going to duplicate this and call this 1, and I'll put the 1/2 inch symbol in there. Say OK, and then you'll see the colors right here. If I wanted this to be blue or purple or green or whatever, I could change it to here, but I don't. I want it to be black. The line weight around the text, I can affect the line weight here, but since it's going to be solid or opaque, then I don't care if it's going to be transparent or just none at all. Then I would, the background is similar to fill. And leader or border, I'm not going to put a leader on this. This is the starting distance away from the text that the leader sets. And then Arial is set as our text. We can use any true font text that's available, but we're going to our true font definition. And then of course our is 1.5 inches, and we're going to say OK. And then we're going to go in here and just click. I'm just going to click anywhere because I'm going to move the text where I want it in a minute. And we're going to call this A01 dash, well, let's put a space in there. The problem with this is that spaces aren't automatically added until you put the next text in, which really is terrible. I don't like it at all, but nothing I can do about it except complain. So this is building typology study. Okay, text looks good. I'm going to escape out of the text, modify, select, and I'm going to move this kind of where I want it. Once again, you can use the arrow keys to do a little bumping. The bump gets smaller the closer you get, okay, to the text, and that looks about good. Little space over here. These are my cut lines for the 33 inches, and then I'm going to put labels in here or text in here for my name, the instructor's name, and the course. So first thing I'm going to do is of course put my name on it. So I'm going to create text, and probably let's start with 1/4 inch, and we can change this if we need to. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch text, and of course Glen Hill. It's kind of small. I can zoom in. Okay, so Glen Hill, that's really too small. So I'm going to come in here, modify this, and let's take it up to at least a 1/2 inch. Yeah, there we go. I'm worth at least a 1/2 inch text. I'm going to move my cursor over to the move command, and we'll just set Glen Hill right there. And the next thing is the course, and that I will set a 1/4 inch. So I'm going to say, because it's not that important anyway, course 3502. Let's see, our section is, I think, 396. I may be wrong on that, so check it. Whoops, I hit escape and escaped out of the text. Sorry about that. I'll have to do it again now. Course 3502 396, and then of course I can grab this and kind of put it where I want it. I'm going to do, and you'll see there's snaps kind of built in here, so I'm going to put a snap and drop text in here again, and this is going to be the, oh yeah, the instructor name, which is really not that important, but he asked that it be there. So we're going to put the instructor's name in here, and we'll line that up kind of with this. And so now we've got basic information. Of course, you can make this as fancy as you want or as unfancy as I have. And the next thing we're going to do, there's a lot of different things that you can do with this using these creates. The one thing is like field regions. So I'm going to create a field region just to show you how to do that. You'll see here's a default. I'm going to edit the type, and I'm going to duplicate this and call it a solid black fill. Okay, and you can see opaque background, line weight doesn't really matter. It's black. Let's make sure that's, yeah. It's not going to be transparent. We can make it transparent if we wanted to. Graphics, da 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 da. And let's see now. Let's just use the rectangle. So I'm going to put a box in there. And since it is already covering part of the box of another, I'm going to accept that. Since it's covering part of the into the box of another portion or text, it's not filling. So I think it should, if we move it out. I'm wrong here. So visible, edit type. Oh, the cut fill. I'm sorry, it's set to crosshatch, and I forgot about that. So we're going to hit solid fill, say OK, OK, and now we've got a big bold stripe there, and we got a sheet to our project in. Next, we're going to cover how to get views, how to set up views.